the VIP on board as a guest of the U.S. Ambassador Raymond Burkert and the Consul General in Ho Chi Minh City, the guest of honor was Phạm Xuân Ẩn because he represented the two cultures that were now friends, both his Vietnam homeland and the United States.
Well, during his trip to Vietnam this time, Professor Berman had a meeting with fans of the book Perfect Spy, and there wasn't enough time for him to answer all their questions, but we're going to take a look at some time he spent with 200 people at an event organized by the New Agency Publishing House in Hanoi.
Over 200 readers and researchers flocked to Vietnam News Agency Publishing House to talk to Larry Berman, author of Perfect Spy. This is a rare chance for them to ask all questions about the book, especially the author's memories about Phạm Xuân Ẩn and stories that haven't been told in the book.
Cảm nhận của tôi về tác giả Larry là ông giáo sư đã viết dường như không phải là bằng một cái như là một công việc, mà có lẽ ông viết bằng một cái như là một cái sứ mệnh để nói lên chân dung một con người, cuộc đời sự nghiệp của một người đáng rất là trân trọng. Và khi mà gặp cuốn sách lại thì có lẽ là câu hỏi còn rất là nhiều, như là cuộc đời của ông Phạm Xuân Ẩn.
Young people of today are lucky to live in peace, but they really need such valuable books like Perfect Spy to learn about a personality, about how to work and contribute to their nation.
Buổi giao lưu ngày hôm nay thì được tổ chức làm cho không chỉ có giới báo chí mà cả độc giả cũng rất là thích, bởi vì là có cơ hội để tiếp cận với tác giả cuốn sách và để hiểu thêm về cuốn sách, về những cái có thể là đằng sau những cái con chữ viết ra thì được hiểu thêm về cuốn sách và về tác giả cũng như về cái nhân vật ở trong tác phẩm rất là nhiều. Thế là tôi rất thích.
Undergoing the war, understanding what the war is like, but today veteran Võ Như Loan came to the meeting to find more about soldiers who had been fighting in a silent but dangerous front.
Tác phẩm này nó đã giúp cho tôi hiểu được nhiều điều trong cái cuộc chiến tranh vừa qua, mà sẽ đi là làm nên những cái chiến thắng đó là cái sự hy sinh của nhân dân, thì trong đó cái người làm nên những cái việc, tức là lấy được những cái tin tức, mà có thể nói là cuộc chiến đấu mình thắng người là nhờ được biết người.
The American author and Vietnamese war veteran Võ Như Loan now share the same admiration for the greatest spy of the century, a man who has devoted all his life for his country, Vietnam.
You have a warm reception, I think, when you come to Vietnam. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel great. I mean, I'm so happy that my book has received the reception it has. I mean, I wouldn't be on this show otherwise, and I get to meet you, and I get to be seen by viewers everywhere. So who wouldn't be happy? So I'm very happy, and also it's a humbling experience too, because I'm an American writer writing about a Vietnamese general and a spy, and the book has been received very well by the Vietnamese people. To me, that's a very important accomplishment, and I'm very proud of that.
When you were writing the book, what did you want your readers to get out of it? Was there some purpose or some message that you wanted readers to get?
That's a great question, because when I was writing this book, I never thought there would be a Vietnamese edition, so I was only writing for an American audience, and whatever Vietnamese would buy the book or get the book, or maybe buy it for $1.50 at the street corner in a Xerox copy, but I never thought I would have a published book. So when I was writing the book, I was writing for an American audience, and I wanted them to understand the war through the eyes of Phạm Xuân Ẩn. And I wanted them to understand the concepts of what it meant to be a Vietnamese nationalist, what nationalism meant, what it meant for a Vietnamese to want to defend his country and love his country, but at the same time admire and respect America, but also to understand the limits of American, what I call hubris, which is that America thought they could just come to Vietnam and they would make life better for the Vietnamese. Well, we didn't understand Vietnamese history, culture, we didn't understand our enemy, and as someone said to me today, a very distinguished professor here in Vietnam, now retired, he said it was the wrong war at the wrong time in the wrong place, the wrong allies, and the wrong enemy. That explains everything. And I was trying to communicate that through the eyes of Phạm Xuân Ẩn.
There's a large population of Vietnamese Americans in the United States, and they're concentrated in certain areas. But when you did those tours, what was the response that you got?
It's been very divided. It's very interesting. It's very painful for a veteran to feel that they served in a war that America lost, and they went home and they were treated so badly, and now when I write about On, that anger is still there. But I've been welcomed into Vietnamese American community book signings in Westminster, in Arlington, Alexandria, Virginia, Houston, Texas, all over. I have many of my closest friends are Vietnamese Americans, and many of them understand On, and many of them don't. And it's just the way it's going to always be. And I've accepted that.
Now, your visit to Vietnam this time, is it to go again promote the book? What is your aim this time?
My aim this time was to meet all the readers. My publisher, Vietnam News Agency Publishing, brought me over to meet the hundreds and hundreds of readers who want to meet me. I've gone into shops and people have seen me and asked me to sign my book. It's sort of flattering in a way. I feel like an aging rock star, you know, and signing books all the time. It's been very flattering and very interesting, and to see the articles in the news, and to so I've been doing that, and also I'm very grateful for the U.S. Embassy and the U.S. Consulate for creating programs for me here, and there's a great interest at the National Library yesterday. Over 200 people came to listen to me talk about my book, which is again humbling and very, very exciting.
The book is in the process of becoming a film, possibly. I've read that you've been talking to a screenwriter and a screenwriter Daniel Blake Smith, Phoenix Films, and talking about turning this book into a film. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That's my dream. Well, actually, what happened is I have optioned the book already, and Daniel Blake Smith has finished the script, and the script indeed I brought to Vietnam and I shared it with a few people. It's also circulating in Hollywood right now, but he owns the option, and so I'm just the guy who wrote the book. So at the end one day it'll say based upon a book by Larry Berman, but it's his hope, and he's retained me as a consultant on the project, and if it is made into a film, it's my hope that it's shot in Vietnam. But it would be a major motion picture. That is, the goal of it is that it would attract American audiences. So it's a book really about it's a film about friendship between Robert Sam Manson and Phạm Xuân Ẩn, and also about the war and about reconciliation.
Books are turned into films. A lot of the in-between time, the story changes. How do you feel about taking the premise of Perfect Spy and then turning that into the film? Do you want to keep it the way it was, or the way you wrote it, or?
I would love to keep it, but I've reconciled myself to the fact that I will not be able to stop it.